You're listening to the Mile You're In podcast. Everything running related, from 100 meters to 100 miles. And now, here's your host, Phil Patterson Jr.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Mile You're In podcast. I told you I was back, and here I am, 2 episodes in less than a week. I felt inspired again, and I'm back. No wasting time, no playing games. I'm trying to be serious about this. I know I've said that before. It's like a broken record. Real quick, as always, very important to me to get this out. The shout outs, the thank yous, the appreciation, and partially what this episode's going to be about is to my 3 current Patreon supporters, the continuous supporters, pretty much from day one. The unknown, or I shouldn't say unknown, the anonymous supporter, who, for some of y'all who keep asking me or wondering, they have made the decision to remain anonymous. So I just say that to still give my shout out and appreciation to them. There's Becky from Miami and Francine from Pembroke Pines. So again, I appreciate the 3 of you for your continued support each and every episode, every month. It's very appreciated and cherished, and I'm grateful for it. And it's kind of what led to the inspiration for this episode. So basically, Tuesday was my birthday. I turned 39 years old. For those of you that are into running the way I am, next year I will enter the Masters division. Makes me sound old. No offense to those who are in that division or even in the Grand Masters and all those other higher ones that I know exist, but I can't remember the names of. But shout out to y'all for being able to continue to run and do what you love. Again, that's what this episode is going to be about, is appreciation and admiring, being grateful. But I turned 39 on Tuesday, and I'm not the type that makes a big deal about my birthday. Never have been, probably never will be. Sometimes I honestly kind of just look at it as another day because of that, since I've never really made a big deal about it. Others do tend to make a bigger deal about it, and some try to do things for me. Sometimes I let them, sometimes I don't. Some people ask to get me stuff, and I kind of request that they don't, but I'll never refuse a gift that's given to me because it's something that I do appreciate, the thought, effort, and anything else that goes behind the idea of it. So I appreciate that. But I don't mind playing the background. I don't mind not having the attention on me. So when it comes to my birthday, I think that's part of it, is I'd rather not make a big deal about it and have all this attention and all this hype and all this craziness, right? I kind of like the silence, the chill, quiet, peaceful moments. And to me, it's the thought that counts behind a lot of things. So just the simple happy birthday. I know it can sound cliche, and for some it could just be an easy copy and paste. They don't have to make much of an effort, but to me it's the simple fact of acknowledging it was my birthday. Obviously I can tell who puts a little more effort into it and who doesn't, by the way it's done or what's said. But again, it's not a big thing for me, so I don't stress it. Now, with that said, I went on my typical long run yesterday, the day after my birthday, and during the run, I was close to 5 miles in, and I just looked up. I tend to look down a lot when I'm running, more so for safety reasons. I've tripped, fell, got hurt many times, and not seeing something that was in front of me. So I tend to look down a lot more and miss out on a lot of what's going on around me. a lot of things that are beautiful, that should be admired, appreciated, cherished, looked at in awe at times. And I looked up and I saw just a simple sign. I don't even remember what it said. It was something for a park, but it just, in that moment, as I looked up and seen it and realized how many times I passed that sign, especially the last couple of months as I've been running the same route twice a week, passing that sign twice a week. It hit me that sometimes we go through life and we go through the motions and we're so focused on what's ahead of us, we don't notice what's around us. We're so focused on getting to a certain point, we don't see what's around us, what we're missing out on, the beauty that we're missing out on. There's nothing wrong with being focused on your goals or whatever it is that you're going after and chasing after, but I think sometimes we get so lost in that we miss out on so much more. And because of that, we miss out on opportunities to experience more and possibly greater things. You know, all of us that run, I forget the term now, but even just in sports in general, sometimes you're chasing that victory, right? That championship or that personal record, and you obtain it, and now it's that emptiness, that what's next, now what? Like, we're always chasing something, we're always chasing more, nothing's ever fully satisfying, right? So when I started to get into the rhythm of the 100-mile races, and I was starting to have a lot of success excuse me. I told you, no more edits. Like, I'm just doing these in one take. That way I can get them out faster and not stress it. But when I was continuously doing the 100-milers successfully, I started getting to a point where I felt the accomplishment of finishing, but I would sit there moments later and the next few days, even weeks, already thinking, what's next? What's the next race I can sign up for? Because I was already losing that feeling of full appreciation for what I had just accomplished. Like, the insane facts about what I had just did, what my body just overcame, what my mind overcame. I had to really go through those multiple DNFs to regain that. You know, when I did the Octopus 100 the second time and ended that DNF streak and finally got my 10 finishes that I was really striving for, it was during that race that I stopped and looked around and took more pictures and did things that I had forgot and gotten away from previous runs and races and moments. I think getting away from social media has kind of sucked that a little bit out of me, because part of the reason that I did all that was for social media, but the reasons behind it sometimes were not for the right reasons. They were for likes and for views and for recognition, not for the appreciation of what I was actually viewing. And that kind of killed it for me, where yesterday on that run, I kind of got that spark again. And although I didn't take any pictures yesterday, I had some stuff happen that kind of had me force the pace a little bit and run faster and end the run quicker than I would have liked to. But I told myself I want to start getting back to the routine of taking pictures or videos when I'm out on a run. And for myself, for memories, for appreciation of what's around me and what I'm experiencing and what I'm immersing myself in, and not worrying about who else sees it and what they think. I look back at a lot of these 100-mile races that I've done, and I think about all of them, not just the ones that I finished, but I feel like part of the reason I DNF'd the ones that I did was out of that that boredom. I got into routine, and I got so focused on the wrong things, chasing the wrong things, that I lost the love, the passion, the excitement for it, for everything that's involved in it. Even the way I would interact with people throughout the races wasn't the way it used to be. I became very short with people. It wasn't as genuine and as authentic as it was in the beginning. And again, I experienced all of that. It was like a renewed me. It was like the old me had come back during that Octopus 100 miler last year. And unfortunately, as I mentioned in the last episode, because of the divorce, that whole decision, which actually had taken place just a few weeks prior to the Octopus 100, I don't think it had sunk in yet at that point. I was so focused on the goal of finishing, but also having fun, because I realized not having fun was part of the reason I was becoming unsuccessful. I was able to block all of that out for the most part. There were times that it hit me, but I was able to kind of hold my own and get through it. But shortly after that, I attempted the Wildcat 100 again, and it hit me. Like, reality sunk in, and I just wasn't having fun anymore. My heart and my mind was not where it needed to be. I was not where I wanted to be. Physically, I could have definitely finished that race. I felt great. Mentally, I probably could have pushed through. But again, I had lost the passion and the fun for it, and no longer had the desire to push through that. And I realize now that it was in those moments that I could have pushed through by looking around, whether it's the people that are out there, the friends, the family, the nature, Mother Nature that's around, the beauty in the sky, the clouds, whether it's the rain that's falling down and cooling you down and just makes you feel like a kid again sometimes, or at least me when I'm running. I like running in the rain, splashing in the puddles, all that, right? Looking around at the plants, the trees, animals, the water, if you're near a body of water, even just buildings, right? Not every building is the same. Looking at different buildings and the color schemes, the designs, cars, just sometimes when I'm running past things and I can smell the food, and it's like, wow, like that smells delicious. Wow, and it brings you back to memories of times you might have had that, or cravings. And there's so many things that we see, hear, smell, taste, like all of our senses, right? There's so many things in life that in the moment we are usually grateful for, but sometimes we become so accustomed to it, so used to it, that we become numb to it, that it doesn't have the same effect that it once did. Sometimes we get used to the compliments, and they don't kind of motivate, inspire. They don't lift our spirits the way they used to. I think about when I'm with my son and the way he looks at me, and sometimes the things that he says, or the way he plays with me and jokes around with me and wants me involved with what he's doing. And sometimes I take that for granted, and when he's not here with me, here I go getting emotional again. It really it hits you hard, right? If you're a single parent or co-parenting, you can relate to this, right? You sometimes, when they're not with you, you miss things, but then when they're with you, you're so caught up in everything else going on that you don't cherish it, and then you're not with them and you realize you didn't cherish it, and you kind of go through this cycle that when you get to the point that you remember and you recognize those moments, you cherish them even more. You hold on to them a little longer. You look at them a little longer. You'll put down the distractions, whether it's the phone, the Xbox, whatever it is that you're doing. This episode is really to kind of encourage us all to stop for a moment. Just stop and look around. Listen to what's around you. Look at what's around you. Smell what's around you. I'm not gonna tell you to taste what's around you because that could be weird. But I mean, if you're somewhere and there's some food or something, I mean, I guess if you smell it, go taste it. I don't know. Make sure you buy it though. Don't steal it. I don't need that on my conscience. But seriously, I don't think we stop and appreciate as much as we used to. When I'm running, I tend to run against traffic, and I'm always looking into the vehicles that are oncoming so I can also see if they're paying attention. And so many times I see everyone with their face buried in their phones. They don't even see what's going on around them. And not solely for the safety reasons is it important to stop that, but if it's not that, we're so focused on what's right in front of us, we don't look around. And I was talking to a coworker, a good friend of mine, and she cycles, she runs, she does triathlons, so she does it all. But in this case, in this scenario, the running and cycling aspect of things, like, you're so focused on the safety of being on the road and not falling, not getting hurt, not getting hit. You don't get to really admire what's going on around you and what is around you, except for when you stop and take a break. So for me, it's, when I take a walk break, it's typically to eat or drink, to rehydrate, refuel. I might check my phone for messages or things like that, but I don't always look around and admire. And again, yesterday's run, I stopped and did that a little bit more, and I plan to do that a little bit more because I realized how much of a mood changer that can be. And I think about, actually, before I finish, let me go back to my friend's story. She had told me because of a recent surgery that she had, she was forced to only walk. She couldn't do anything that involved sweating. So as she was walking, as miserable as it was, she started realizing how many things she'd never recognized before, because now she was looking around more and she was at that slower pace that gives you the ability and time to look around and see what's going on and what's around you, and started appreciating some of those things. And it's funny because she had told me about some animals that she had seen, and she stopped and took pictures and showed me, and now I went on the run on that same route and I did the same thing, because I was like, I would have never noticed this if you had never told me. And I've run by that, I've driven by that house before, but we're so focused on what's in front of us, we don't always see or have the opportunity to see what's around us. And because of that, I really think about, I go back to my birthday on Tuesday, and I get caught in such a routine. It's just who I am. I'm very structured. I like consistency. I like knowing and planning. So I tend to follow a routine. I have that addictive personality that I've shared on this show many of times before, that when a friend asked to meet me to bring me a gift that they got me for my birthday, my first instinct was to say, I'm busy, I can't, not at that time, I got stuff to do. But again, just going through that day and seeing who recognized it was my birthday and said something to me versus who didn't, this was one of the people that did. And when I realized the effort they went through to get me a gift, and now we're going to bring it to me, I felt selfish. I felt greedy and ungrateful, many negative things that I say, you know what? No, I'll make time. We'll meet up. However it has to be done. But yeah, if you bought me something, you want to bring that to me specifically on my birthday, I need to be appreciative. I need to be grateful, because not many people did that or would do that. And I didn't want to take things for granted, because I see now how lonely things can be. Yes, I'm introverted. Yes, I prefer to be alone and do things by myself in the quiet, in the lonesome of life. But I still cherish and appreciate relationships and friendships and positive family relationships. And again, I made changes to my routine. I did something different, and it felt good. It reminded me that we don't always have to be, two people that I've met recently challenged me to be more spontaneous, and I'm grateful for them, because I've, in just the last month and a half, I've been very, very much that, more than I'm even comfortable being. But it's brought me out of a certain shell that's been nice to experience, and just to see things differently. It's been really nice, and that's what I wanted to encourage you guys to do again, is kind of break the routine. It's great to have, again, I have a friend that's going through school and work, and with the kids and everything that she has going on, she still makes time. She works everything out so that she can have that free time, no matter how simple or short it may be, but to still make that time to be able to do stuff to appreciate and cherish life, the friends that she has, the ability to do those things that many people don't. And I've had Jamila on the show before, and you guys heard her story about everything she goes through. And for her, running is that therapy, and the relationships that she's made and the friendships she's made going to these races and competing and all of that surrounds it. That's her chance to get away from the craziness and the hecticness of, is that a word? I just threw myself off there. But see, this is the problem with me. I can't always be 100% serious. I am a comedian at heart. I like to make jokes. I like to make things funny, make y'all laugh. And that's a part of this right here. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Is sometimes you get so focused and you get so serious that you miss out on the fun of life. And that's just who I am. Like, lately, when I've been doing these long runs and things are miserable, I'll say out loud to myself, how you feeling physically? How you feeling mentally? And I'll talk to myself. I'm weird. I'm crazy. I admit it. I know that's how I look to people that see me on the side of the road as they're passing me. But if I notice I'm not in a good mood, I'll look around me and find something to make a joke about, something to laugh about, to put a smile back on my face, to change my attitude, to lift my spirits, to get out of that low that I'm grinding and put myself into the possibility of getting into a high that I could ride. And there's just so much negativity in this world. There's so much to be frustrated about, so much to be upset about, and with valid reason, right? I don't think a lot of us complain just because, we don't complain because we want to. There are valid reasons we're upset, we're hurt, we're depressed, we're disappointed, we're anxious, we're stressed, whatever it may be. Death, losing a job, the possibility of losing a job, school, grades, graduation, juggling multiple jobs in school, children, being a single parent, car problems, health issues, the list goes on, right? We could do this all day. But there's still something that we could cherish and appreciate. And that's all I'm trying to encourage you guys, and myself included, to do, is stop and look around for a moment. Find something. You may see something you haven't seen in a long time that just brings back a joyful moment. Hear something. That's why sometimes when even my music, sometimes I have to go through and hit shuffle, because I'll get so used to playing the same thing that I miss out on songs that I absolutely love, but I forgot about because I got so locked into a routine that I forgot that I even had the song. And it brings back memories that bring back joyful memories. Yes, there are the possibilities of it bringing back negative ones as well, but I feel like when you break that routine, it starts to bring back memories that bring back new feelings and old feelings, and get things kind of rejuvenated within yourself, and spark new things, spark new motivations and inspirations. I recently just broke out an old photo album, and the first thing I noticed was, God, because this, again, we don't really do this anymore. Everything now is through our phones. We don't even really do cameras anymore unless you're a photographer. But I was looking at the photos, and I was just like, wow, the quality is so terrible. And it made me appreciate the fact that we have what we have now technology-wise, that we could take better photos that look great all the time. Half of these photos, they brought back so many awesome memories, but when I went to show somebody, I was like, I swore the picture looked better than it does now. Maybe it faded or quality dropped over time, just sitting, I don't know, but it was just that, right? Breaking out an old photo album that I forgot I even had, and just going through those photos, and it made me appreciate how far I've come in life, how far I've matured, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I don't know how else to say it, but I think that's one of the beautiful lessons about running, and the connection that I've made over these years is so many moments in a run, whether it's a race or just a training run, a fun run, whatever it may be, whether I'm solo or with a friend, can relate to so many things in life. And as I look back at that sign that I've seen many times and never paid attention to, and it had absolutely nothing inspirational about it, it was just the simple fact of, wow, I've looked at this sign but never actually looked at the sign. That's what hit me, is that we see things, but do we really see them? We hear things, but do we really hear them? You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. And if you stop and enjoy the moment and really submerge yourself in that, you'll find something greater out of it than you would have if you just continued to go through the motions. So as I wrap this up, just think about the people in your life, the things in your life, places in your life, things that you enjoy, things that you miss doing, people you miss talking to, places you miss going to, food you miss eating. Just think about things that you miss, things that you haven't done in a long time. Go do something spontaneous. Go change things up. Get out of your routine. Get out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself, but also recognize how far you've come. And I think that's the other problem that I had during those DNFs. I never really stopped and appreciated just how far I came. Yes, I did 100 miles before, so dropping out at 60, 70, or 80 felt like a failure. But each one of those races presented a different challenge. Each day at work presents a different challenge. Each class and each lesson presents a different challenge. When you stop and look at how far you've come, what you've learned, how you've grown, when you look at all that these things, people and places have benefited you, you become more appreciative even during the failed moments, and you know that there's still opportunity, something to be grateful for and something to learn from it. And that's what I'm going to challenge myself as I have this 100-miler coming up in New York. I'm feeling very confident, very positive about it. My training has been going very well. Mentally, I've just been on a constant high and just having fun. But I'm going to make sure come race day, because I know the competitiveness gets in me and the stress and anxiety of getting done before the cutoff time. And I'm just going to stop. Take pictures, take videos, have fun, text friends that I know are from New York and just make jokes about being in their area and just have fun. Because I've been going through some stressful days and weeks and months since this decision has been made, and I'm probably going to keep doing so, but all I can do is make the best of it. And in order to do that, I have to find the positive in each moment. And sometimes it's not having to sit there and think about it. Sometimes it's just stopping and looking around and listening. That's it. It'll come to you. It'll find you if you let it. So until the next episode, I hope you find that. I hope you find it, and I hope you find that joy again.
Thanks for listening to the Mile You're In podcast. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe.